Coming up next, our team looks into Penn State's timely warning system and what goes into an alert.
The rates of violence actually aren't going down, just the number of reports are.
Plus, why student food insecurity may be worse than you think.
If a student is struggling with food insecurity or housing insecurity, it's really hard to even address other things.
And Penn State researchers make a major breakthrough in cancer research. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Savannah Wood.
And I'm Carlos Garcia. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, Interstate 80 in Western PA is finally open again after a deadly crash in the snow. The multi-vehicle accident happened Wednesday on I-80 in Mercer. One person was killed and 6 injured in the wreck involving at least 8 cars and trucks. Snow was falling across the area. The person killed was from Rochester, New York. An 11-mile stretch of the highway was shut down for most of the day during the investigation.
A high-ranking Penn State administrator accused of strangling a woman is awaiting his next court appearance. Keith Rodegum appeared at his preliminary hearing on Wednesday, but opted to waive it. His formal arraignment is set for November 29th in Bellefonte. Rodegum is accused of choking the woman during an argument in Patton Township. He's on leave as an interim VP for Information Technology.
It's been 1 week since Penn State sent out an alert about a sexual assault on the University Park campus. It was the first alert sent out since August, which allowed us to ask, has something changed? Reporter Courtney McGinley started researching the question, and she's live in our studio with what she found. Courtney?
They are called timely warnings, and they are sent out to alert the campus community about these potential threats. This semester, only 3 have been issued. That's less than in recent years. Does that mean there's less crime happening, or less reporting, or has something else changed?
This is the man police say secretly recorded women as they showered in a Penn State dorm. 24-year-old Jinyu Lee of Boalsburg is not a student here. Hamilton Hall resident Danielle Bota lives on the 3rd floor where it all happened.
It was scary. I mean, I started going downstairs to shower because downstairs are where the pods are. So I started going down there to shower for a couple weeks.
Penn State police received 2 complaints about a phone camera pointed in the shower stall on October 7th and 14th. They arrested Lee 6 days later. We wanted to know why the university did not issue a timely warning alert to the University Park campus about these incidents. Police Public Information Officer Jacqueline Shetter told us alerts are only sent out when incidents pose an ongoing threat. Other incidents are posted in the police daily crime log. She said incidents are evaluated individually on whether they meet the criteria for an alert, including, was a Clury Act reportable crime committed? Was the incident within the university's geography? And is there an ongoing threat to the community? Shetter said invasion of privacy is not a Clery Act reportable crime. She said while a timely warning was not issued, students at Hamilton Hall and nearby residence halls were notified. A search of timely warnings issued by Penn State shows there have only been 3 this semester, 2 in late August, and then nothing until last week. The spring semester had 7, summer and fall 2022 had 8. In September of 2021, there were 11 timely warning alerts. University police tell us there's been no policy change. So why are there fewer alerts? Penn State student Sanika Cooley analyzes surveys, including Penn State's Sexual Misconduct Climate Survey.
The rates of violence actually aren't going down, just the number of reports are. And this could be due to many different reasons. It could be that Penn State students don't trust the university with their cases. 46% of women undergraduate students said that they didn't want their report to become a timely warning.
University police encourage anyone who's been a victim to report it right away.
University police say other criteria for decisions about warnings include the status of an investigation and the safety and confidentiality of the victims.
Thanks, Courtney. Penn State is one step closer to receiving its delayed state funding. The State House approved a $643 million funding bill this week, but on the condition that universities freeze tuition for the next academic year. However, Penn State says it's already voted on a 2-year budget plan that freezes tuition for Pennsylvania resident students at Commonwealth campuses. The state funding bill now goes to the Senate.
A nationwide shortage of milk and juice cartons is now affecting a local school district. Pennsylvania, New York, and California are advising school districts to make changes during the shortage, which could last for months. The State College School District sent a message to families saying it can only buy 60% of the packaged items it normally does. The district will still offer milk in cartons for elementary schools, but middle and high school students will now be offered a cup to fill at milk stations. At the college level, more Penn State students than you may realize struggle to find their next meal. That's according to the results of a new statewide survey. A new Penn State survey revealed a surprising reality about students and hunger.
It's the students who almost need it most who think like, oh no, my problem's not bad enough. I should leave that for other students.
The university just released a new food and housing needs survey across all campuses. It showed 14%, about 1 in 7 students, did not eat for an entire day in the last month because they couldn't afford it. The university says it wants them to know that there's help available.
Really, we want students to reach out to us because those resources on campus are there for a reason.
That challenge impacts the health and well-being of students and their progress toward getting a degree.
So if a student is struggling with food insecurity or housing insecurity, it's really hard to even address other things because it's, that's the one thing that you really need to have in order to thrive in other areas. So there's always more to the story than just the food insecurity.
The student-led Lions Pantry is the official on-campus resource at University Park, but small basic needs clubs outlets are spread across campus too.
Are designed so that students can kind of just grab a couple things and throw them in their backpack and take them home. So it's kind of a low-key, easy way to access food.
Students only need their ID to use the pantries across campus, and there are options downtown too. Described as a home away from home, Coffee House and Study Space Abba Jabba offers free coffee, tea, and food for Penn State students every weekday. Campus Minister Reverend Sarah Voigt says everyone is welcome.
Having a reminder that you are loved just for who you are, you don't have to do anything to earn it, is a gift I feel like that we can offer.
Survey results indicate that some students are even selling possessions, skipping a bill payment, and avoiding medical care to buy food. People like Voigt hope they reach out for the help they need. Surveys done nationally also have similar results. One report showed nearly 3 in 5 students at participating colleges and universities face basic needs insecurity.
Election Day is coming up on Tuesday, and Center County officials are preparing for in-person and mail-in voters. Mail-in ballots can be dropped off in designated ballot boxes until 9 a.m. Monday. Polls will be open on Tuesday from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Voters are choosing various judges and municipal offices. More election details can be found over at centercountyvote.org. And state police have arrested 2 people accused of vandalizing political campaign signs in Half Moon Township. The 22-year-olds, one from State College and one from Bedford, are charged with criminal mischief. Police say they're also under investigation for other spray-painted signs at locations throughout Center County.
A team led by Penn State has made an important new cancer research discovery. Joey David has more on the breakthrough.
Dennis Degankoff is part of a cancer research team with some very big goals.
What is the next phase in the plan? What is...
Just cure cancer. Cure cancer would be enough. Yeah.
The end goal is obviously to cure cancer.
His team, led by Penn State researchers, made a discovery that could fundamentally change breast cancer treatment. The find reveals for the first time the mechanics behind how breast cancer cells may invade healthy tissues. The discovery showed a protein called dynein powers the movement of cancer cells in soft tissue. Erdem Tabdanov from Penn State leads the team.
Essentially, what we figured that if you turn off the conventional mechanism, yes, the cell keeps moving, right? And then when you, along with this conventional mechanism, suppress dynein-based motor protein activity, then the cancer cells actually stop.
That can mean new clinical targets against cancer spread.
For example, the cell line that we use is so faithful that it actually 100% matches the actual cancer, the actual cases of breast cancer, that you use it as a grafting material to graft inside the immunocompromised mice to model the cancer development.
The researchers say any potential clinical treatment is still far away, but it gives them hope.
Everybody young, everybody hungry, angry for success and everything. And we have very different expertise, but I think so far we work so well.
In University Park, I'm Joey David for the Center County Report.
The research group says future steps will include human or animal trials.
We've had some cold weather this week, but as a warm-up on the way, the forecast is coming up.
Plus, a change at Center County's biggest airport. Also coming up, surprising numbers on women-owned businesses in Pennsylvania and the trend that might be turning things around.
Now the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. Israeli troops have now completely surrounded Gaza City as they tighten the squeeze on Hamas. More than 9,000 Palestinians have died so far, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, and more than 1,400 Israelis have been killed. Meantime, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken met Israel's prime minister today to emphasize American calls for a humanitarian pause in the fighting.
The University Park Airport is getting a new name, something that's been talked about for quite a long time. Reporter Emily McGlynn is there and live with the details. Emily?
Thanks, Savannah. This airport actually dates back to the 1950s, and these days it's growing in a big way, with more parking and hundreds of thousands of passengers coming in a year. Now it's getting a new name. It'll be known as the State College Regional Airport instead of University Park Airport. Today at 2 p.m., it'll be unveiling its new sign. Penn State owns it, and the Center County Airport Authority operates the terminal and parking. They say the new name will help alleviate confusion among travelers. Some of that confusion is over the airport code, which is SCE on bookings and baggage tags. But behind the scenes, it uses the FAA code UNV. That made some people think they were different airports. They hope this will be more clear. Live at the airport, I'm Emily McGlynn. Now back to you.
Thanks, Emily. A recent report showed Pennsylvania as one of the worst states for women-owned small businesses. I talked with several owners in State College to get their reactions.
Noted last year, Micah.
Amy Frank owns The Makery, and she's one of the few women small business owners in State College.
So the challenge of just balancing that with your own family and their needs is sometimes more challenging than I think it may be for some of our male counterparts, though that is really changing.
Out of 1.1 million small businesses in Pennsylvania, only 39% are owned by women, and only 6% are projected to survive past 20 years, according to the U.S. Small Business Administration. In a study done by boutique lending firm Clarify Capital, Pennsylvania ranked last in the country for its percentage of women-owned small businesses.
It's so easy now for somebody to go to a big box store and kind of have in my opinion, kind of a soulless experience, right? It's not that fun, but that is sometimes easier and sometimes more straightforward than finding the place within your town that's more of a mom and pop establishment.
Katie Dawes joins Frank as a small business owner in downtown State College. She's owned Kitchen Caboodle for almost 4 decades, but being a mom and entrepreneur presented some challenges.
Well, being here for 37 years, having one son, he spent some of his days napping in the stockroom, so.
But the numbers have grown in recent years. The U.S. Senate's Committee on Small Business says there are nearly 13 million women-owned small businesses, accounting for a third of all small businesses. The boom in female ownership is something both Dawes and Frank are pushing for.
Hope that we can certainly encourage more women to be a part of the scene and owning their own business.
It's also critical, though, for small businesses, and this is something we really put an emphasis on, to offer something special and different and elevated from a big box store experience.
Pennsylvania has almost 370,000 businesses with and without employees under female leadership.
High and dry conditions headed our way this weekend as we also experience a warm-up. We have bright blue skies behind me on this first November Friday of the month. Current conditions are sitting right around 48 degrees with a south-southwesterly wind that'll keep that warming up through the afternoon. Feeling a little chilly as we go throughout the day, though, so definitely suggesting layers. As we look across the Commonwealth, we can see the upper 40s and 50s are taking over the state as we go into these afternoon hours and the sun is shining. High pressure is sitting in control on the current radar and satellite, keeping skies clear and that south-southwesterly flow heading across the state. And that'll remain the prominent trend throughout our weekend. Seeing how chilling it was these past couple days, we are quite on the flip side as the entire state is warmer than it was yesterday. In some places in the teens, as Johnstown's 15 degrees, Franklin and Bradford both 13 degrees warmer than they were yesterday, and this will remain true as we go through the weekend. Looking into the future forecast, we can see how this high pressure system moves out over the Atlantic and the clouds follow, but temperatures will remain consistent. Some pop-up showers through western Pennsylvania, but nothing too wet as we've experienced in recent weekends. But as we go to Monday morning, you can see that weather maker to our northwest over the Great Lakes that'll bring us some damping showers over the beginning of the work week next week. Zooming in just on Pennsylvania, we can see how these temperatures and trends go throughout the day. By this afternoon, high of 55 and cloud coverage persisting throughout the state as we go through the weekend. Clicking through Sunday morning, we can see temperatures still remain the same as we get through Saturday night into Sunday morning, and the clouds finally clear out by Monday. Looking at the forecast for today, however, we have a bluebird day headed our way, sunny skies and 55 degrees. Clouds come in tonight with a low of 40 degrees, and come tomorrow, we will be having consistent temperatures, and temperatures will clouds remain and temperatures will stay the same with a high of 55. Tying this all up into a 7-day forecast, we can see the warm weather is persisting as we go into the beginning of next week, but those showers will be headed our way come Wednesday and Thursday.
Thanks, Leah. Believe it or not, I'm actually looking forward to Sunday this weekend with that extra hour of sleep with daylight savings.
Absolutely, and it's nice to see the weather getting a little bit warmer. It's starting to get to that point where everybody's walking around downtown sniffling, so not too exciting. But thank you, Leah. We're going to toss it over to Alex now with sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, we'll take a look at Penn State football's new 2024 schedule. Also coming up, we'll preview their matchup against Maryland this weekend as the Nittany Lions look for their third straight victory against the Terrapins. I'm Alex Rocco with sports. After getting back into the win column last weekend, Penn State football packs its bags and hits the road for a battle against Maryland tomorrow. After getting off to a fast 6-0 start, the 11th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions have run into some challenges in their last two games. First was a brutal 20-12 loss at Ohio State. Then, they struggled last week at home, beating Indiana by just 9 points. Once again, Penn State's offense failed to move the ball down the field until quarterback Drew Aller connected with Keandre Lambert-Smith for a 57-yard touchdown late in the contest. Despite the long score, Aller says the offense needs to be more consistent this weekend when the team travels to Maryland.
It's really frustrating when you can't get going as fast as you would have liked, but there was just simple things again that we were missing or not doing in the beginning, and then we finally fixed those things and were able to adjust to what they were doing.
And it wasn't just the offense that struggled against the Hoosiers. The defense allowed a 67-yard and a 90-yard touchdown, the two longest plays of the year for Indiana.
You had one play where a guy made a phenomenal throw and the receiver made a great catch and run. They're going to make plays too. They're on scholarship too, right? And then the other one was a blown assignment. So, is this going to be a challenge this week for a number of reasons? No doubt about it.
In last year's 30-0 shutout win over Maryland, Penn State tallied 7 sacks. They'll likely need the same kind of pressure this week. Kickoff is tomorrow at 3:30 p.m., and you can listen to the game live on Penn State Com Radio with our broadcast team in College Park, Maryland. Penn State football's schedule for next year is out, and boy, is it a tough one. It includes home games against UCLA, Washington, and Ohio State, and away games at USC, at Wisconsin, at West Virginia, and others. It also includes 2 bye weeks. Playoffs for high school football kick off this week. Let's see where the action takes place tonight. The 6-4 Tyrone Golden Eagles will travel to Penn Cambria to challenge the 8-2 Panthers tonight at 7. And the 5-5 Mifflin County Huskies play host to the 4-6 Altoona Mountain Lions at Mitchell Field. Catch these games and more during our sports show After the Whistle tonight at 11:30 on our Belisario Student Media YouTube channel. Penn State men's and women's soccer teams are playing in their respective Big Ten tournaments this weekend. The women's team will not be advancing to the championship, however, after losing their match last night 1-0 against Iowa in the semifinals. But the men's team is starting their tournament run at 6 tonight in the quarterfinals at home against Rutgers. Penn State men's basketball will open their new season on Monday in a home contest against the Delaware State Hornets. The game will serve as a Nittany Lion debut for transfer point guard Ace Baldwin Jr. and newly hired head coach Mike Rhodes. Then the team will host Lehigh next Friday. Penn State men's hockey plays Notre Dame tomorrow and Sunday at Pagula Ice Arena as the Big Ten season opens. The Nittany Lions are 5-2 this season and are coming off a series split against Alaska Anchorage last week. Coach Guy Gadowski is looking to bounce back against the Irish.
I think I would rather have an honest hockey game and not be able to score than cheat the play and get a few lucky ones. Not lucky ones, but I think we probably deserved more goals yesterday than we did today.
Tomorrow's game against the Irish is at 7:30 and Sunday's face-off is at 4:30. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the desk, Carlos and Savannah.
Thanks, Alex. It's a bummer to hear about women's soccer, but I know I'm excited to be back in the BJC for basketball on Monday.
Absolutely, and for Penn State football, facing Ohio State and Washington in back-to-back weeks, going to be tough next year, but we'll see how they pull it off. Well, coming up next, it's a real-life game of Battleship. Find out more about how a local group is bringing this classic board game to life after the break.
Get ready for battle. Penn State's Intramural Sports will host its popular Battleship tournament on Sunday afternoon in McCoy Natatorium. Every team will consist of 3 players in each canoe. The goal? Sink their opponent's boat. IM Sports have been playing Battleship for 7 years and has 14 teams registered for this year's event. Teams can register on the IM website for $15 before this Sunday.
Savannah, we need you, and Rocco on a team on Sunday. But that's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Tuesday for our next local news update.
You can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a great afternoon.